churches do broadcast their
services on OnlyFans.
Yes, on OnlyFans. There are reverends on OnlyFans that's they cashing out.
Reverend Skin Deep.
I mean,
Oh man. I'm not going there with you.
That's
I'm not going there with you.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome to the Indie Unplugged. Of course, I am Vaughan, and tonight we got some super dope people with us tonight. My man Brian Andre can't be with us because he got called into work, and so I took to the text and hit up some homies and was like, "Hey, can y'all come through?" And they was like, "We got you, my guy." I was like, "Yes." So tonight we got some guys that are here. We got my man Tye, Jay Foley, and my man Yohance.
Yep, you already know.
He's like, y'all already know. Y'all already know. But yeah, for those of you who don't know, we take a couple moments. You already know me, Vaughan, right? Take a moment, let everybody else introduce themselves, and then we're gonna dive into some of these topics. We have a great time, and we'll let Tye take it away.
All right, so my name is Tye Huntley. Let's see. First and foremost, I'm actually a songwriter, arranger, vocal producer. One half of the Intellects. We're a production team. That's my passion, right? But when I'm not doing that, I actually work for Smith Young Talent as a creative director, looking for producers, writers, producers of film, writers of television, as well as film. And let's see, I've got several jobs.
He got several jobs.
Yeah, I am the CEO and president of Smart Cadence Media. We are a media marketing company that assists new and upcoming artists with figuring out how to find their community, how to promote their music, how to be consistent with their social media platforms. How to is what we do. Yeah.
How to.
So that's me. TYE.
That's what's up, my guy. Jay Foley.
What's going on? How everybody doing, man? Jay Foley Beats, music producer, engineer, for sure.
Heck yeah. Jay's been on the podcast before. He been on the interview prior.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
So if you haven't checked out the interview with Jay Foley, make sure you head over to WeCreateMusic.tv and check it out. It's a super, super dope interview. So
Yes, sir.
Then of course my man Yohance.
Yep. Yohance Buchanan. I'm an A&R. If you don't know what it is, go ahead and Google it.
Go ahead and Google it. Well, man, I'm glad to have y'all here tonight, brothers.
Yes,
Greatly
sir.
appreciate y'all answering the call and be willing to come down. Well, Jay's close to me.
Yeah,
but
the
rest of y'all to be able to come down and make the trek down to this side of town. But man, we got some topics tonight. If y'all don't know, Yohance know, Jay kind of know, Tye, this, what I'm saying? Like, we don't really get into like a lot of mess when it comes to like podcast topics, but we're going to get into some stuff tonight that I think is super important for the independent music creators to know. I was doing some research this week and I was like, what can we talk about on this podcast today? Right. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's happening that I think people gravitate towards, like the stuff's happening with Diddy and with Jay and all these other stuff that's going on. But I don't know how that really is impactful to the independent music community. But one of the things that I ran across was the first topic, which is how streamers control the music industry. And I was like, do streamers really control the music industry? Like Cenat,
Yep.
DJ Academics, Aiden Ross, a lot of these streamers that, have huge followings. I mean, huge followings. do these individuals control the music industry? Are they like the new gatekeepers?
No, they not.
Yeah, I said like that.
I'm not gonna say they're gatekeepers.
Yeah, they not.
And I'm not gonna say that they in charge of the music industry, but they add a very big contribution to the game.
How so?
Just in my opinion, they, to me, it's just we got snatched away from, watching TV and looking forward to the MTV countdown and 106 in Park, where these artists used to come submit their videos and the people had an opportunity to vote whether that video was worthy to be on the countdown.
Right.
And for a minute we didn't have, once they took that away, we didn't have none of that. So it was like, where now you just have YouTube where people just upload videos all day.
All the time.
You know what I mean? So it's like no input on nothing. It's just the videos there, whether it's doing amazingly good or amazingly poor. You know what I mean? So it's like now you have these guys who literally come from a whole different era. And it's like this is a stop for them, for these artists. It's a stop for them to be able to engage with a whole different world. We talking about streaming, gaming streaming at that.
Right.
And it's overflowed into the music industry. So I think they add a big contribution to it though.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Pretty much like what he said.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like with Cenat, it's like he's from New York, so his audience is big. Like I got family in New York, and it's really big. They go on TikTok or they go on YouTube, and then a bunch of artists is putting out singles. That's what they doing. They like, you not waiting on a whole album, you waiting on a single. They just releasing single. And then if it hit, it's good. If it miss, it's one of them things.
Yeah, I mean, but when you think about like a person like Kai, right? My man, I don't even know how many. He is the largest streamer that currently exists today.
Crazy.
With the most followers on that watch his platform. And true, he be doing some crazy outlandish stuff on this thing. But the thing is, it's like though. he is a young cat. He is a young cat.
It's like I get it though.
I get it. You know what I'm saying? But has he become, or they, as far as the streamers, have become so big that they can sway the opinions of people's music in the music industry? Like, I don't know if y'all saw this clip. Like, I'm a huge researcher. I'll go out and look and research all types of stuff. So Kai was listening to, and I don't know if it's a prank or not, but he was listening to this guy's album, and he just kept saying, "Oh, that's trash. Like this. Oh, come on, you doing this? That's trash right there. Oh, this one's garbage too." And you can see the guy just.
But the followers, they gonna let him know he gonna read what they put.
No, he pulled the strap out on him. Oh yeah.
Oh,
so I don't know if it was a prank. I don't know if it was set up, but Kai was going in on this guy, just like, man, this trash, bro. You putting this out, you doing this. This music is horrible. And you could literally see, because Kai has so many followers, that people are gonna be like, if Kai say it's trash, then it's gotta be trash. And the dude was sitting there, and all of a sudden he stood up and pulled it out.
Yeah, I don't know
was
if that
like,
was a prank or not. But the crazy thing about it is kind of to the point of a 106 in Park, a BET, an MTV moment. Where is it that an artist can go now and have their music played where it's in front of that big of an audience without being on television? Right? So you really have to say there is a key piece that if you're able to get into the world as a new artist, if you're able to get into the world of a streamer to even have your music played, I mean, that's like probably the best commercial that you could have to advertise your product without being on a television. And those and the TV can just be on with no one really watching it.
Right.
These streamers, these people are sitting in front of their computers watching 100% of the stream. Thanks. So even the guy who gets told that his music is trash, it's getting played though. it might be trash to Kai. It might not be trash to someone else. He might go viral.
He got in his feelings.
Just because he got it.
Right.
He might have sat there and made a business decision. You know what?
Could have.
I'm about to pull out this strap on him and make this a viral moment
like you
so
just
that
said.
people go and watch this portion of this
and
stream.
then they gonna go check the music
go
out.
check out my music.
Run the
Yeah,
numbers
that's
up. Yeah.
that becomes my next promo. Me with a gun. Listen to my album or else. Like, so yeah,
like
they
with
play a pivotal
Gorilla,
part.
He said her music was trash. Ever since then, it kind of got better.
And again, it's
Has it?
like, and I had
No,
to
I'm
kind of think about it. It was just like, okay, we don't have a 106 in Park and MTV, countdown no more. So it's like, but we talking about people with large audiences with honest feedback. We had to literally go and buy a XXL or Source magazine to see who got 3 to 5 mics and stuff like that.
Right.
You don't ever hear nobody saying they go buy those magazines.
They don't.
Yeah, the magazines
They don't.
pretty much.
Because of COVID, they not really giving people magazines.
So
that's one
again,
of the things.
so a lot of stuff got taken away from us. So now it's like we have people who, again, they're making their own money, so you can't pay them for their feedback. This is something they're willing to do on their own. Yeah.
True. So I heard Kai talk about how different companies and record labels have approached him about being, critiquing their album and promoting their album on his platform.
Yeah.
And they would pay him X amount of dollars to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And he's had to turn them down, right? Because you just mentioned, talk about honest feedback.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So now if you are a streamer and you have a company that's paying you to critique your artist's music, what you gonna say? Because they're paying you a couple, and he's talking about like 6 figures.
Yeah,
they want to pay him to do this.
They want to get it, but it's like, how honest you expect a person to be if you're paying them 6 figures?
Yeah.
You can't,
But that's the beauty of it too, though, right? But because you can take the money, play the music, and it's not on you. He has almost at this point made the phrase part of our everyday culture, or at least in part of that streaming culture, is chat. What you think, chat?
Fact.
Yeah, that's what he say.
Put it in the
chat.
chat.
Put it in chat.
I just heard a song the other day where I think it's SZA and Kendrick, and she keeps saying chat. Like
She
she's
was on
talking
there.
to.
Remember,
Yeah,
she's
she's been
there.
on there too.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like, you could be like, well, it wasn't me. You wanted it on the show. I put it on the show. My chat told the truth.
Facts.
Chat chimed in and said how they felt about it. That's who you really. That's your true audience anyway, right?
Facts.
So he don't even have to take on the burden of whether it's good or bad. Hey, I'm gonna play it and let the chat tell you.
And again, and I think that's 50-50 too. Is the best part about it, because he can say something, and have that influence. Or he can not say anything at all, and then let them just judge and run the chat up like crazy. But but like I think the streaming has become a part of it, because again, like you mentioned, Tye, like where can these artists go? Really, like,
not like that.
Not like how it used to be. It used to be like, of course, you knew an artist could go on a run. They got to stop at this spot. They got to go here. They got to tap in with that person. And it's like, ever since they took that away, it's like what?
You still got. I mean, you still got those platforms, right? Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Ebro in the morning.
Yeah, of
Like,
course.
you still got, and I'm, those are just from an urban perspective, right? And there's other platforms that other genres of music go on to, but are streamers more popular than those individuals?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think the cosign from them, or even the opportunity to play your music there, will go much further for you, because you got to even think, I know maybe for some of us, depending on your age group, everybody's not going back to watch an episode of The Breakfast Club or Ebro's show,
Right.
but people literally will watch those streams religiously.
You want to see? You want to see what's gonna happen?
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
Yeah.
And then don't let and it's kind of a thing where now, especially with the labels, you think a lot of these media outlets are just chopping up pieces of the stream and saying, "Oh, this is what happened on Casa." No,
They-
you
not
know
at all.
the
Not
you
at
know the
all.
labels like, look, that's part of the promo package here.
Yeah,
Okay,
Mhm.
we get you on there, and then when you come off of
Mhm.
there, we find the hot moments on there, and then those moments are also gonna be part of this promotional
You got
package.
it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you
You
look
got
for
it.
that.
And
You
it's-
look for that moment where you be like, oh, the chat going crazy. Okay,
Yeah.
boom,
Yeah,
clip that.
And the
We
best
gotta
part
run that
about
one.
it is you don't know what to expect.
That's
Yeah.
true.
You
yeah.
don't know how Kai gonna act.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? He can
Mhm.
literally get up and
Yeah.
start yelling,
Yeah.
throwing his
when
chair
it
around.
when it snowed, he had a chat. He couldn't get his Lambo up a hill. You know, he got a little SUV,
Yeah.
and he was literally going off. People is following him, and he's talking about the Lambo. I'm
Mm.
like, really?
I'm telling you, bro. Some
Yeah.
people be invested in that. You
Yeah.
know, 'cause,
Yeah.
you know, it's
For sure.
but yeah.
Yeah, I heard somebody say that the reason why they like going on those platforms is because you are able to see the artist for who they truly are. Like if they go on the Breakfast Club, you know that Charlamagne the God's really gonna try to
Yeah,
bring out some
he
stuff,
always
right?
gonna, yeah.
you know DJ Envy, they gonna bring out some stuff,
Yeah, for
right.
sure. Yeah.
And so, but when they go to like these streamers platforms, it's kind of like they're gonna be themselves, right?
That's
Mhm.
true.
And I think
kind of let your hair down.
Yeah, for
you,
sure.
you don't gotta
Yeah.
feel guarded, right?
Kick,
You
kick
don't-
your shoes off and chill,
Right,
and
right.
just relax. Let's tap in. Let's tap in with some people that you may never meet
True.
throughout your life, and this is a chance to interact with these people.
True.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's dope.
Yeah.
I look at it as they adding a big contribution to the game. I can't
That's
lie
like
about that.
what he had Kevin Hart on there. Like,
Yeah.
really,
And
like,
Drewski.
really.
Oh my god,
Yeah. And
that
Drewski.
right there, that was
Yeah.
That was
crazy.
golden.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? But
that
it,
was
like
golden.
if you look at it like this, you did mention Ebro and you did
Mhm.
mention Breakfast Club, but like if you pay attention, like that's really like radio.
It's radio.
True.
It's
Yeah.
Right,
radio.
right,
They just started throwing cameras in there to
Yeah.
film it. You know, even
Yeah.
Big Boy.
Yeah.
Right.
They
yeah.
just that's really radio. So it's like again, we got so many ways to listen to music now. It's like who really listening to the radio nowadays?
right.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like now it's kind of like because that's not I ain't listening to the radio, but that's damn near like TV now.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like a double-edged sword too, right? Because Drake just went on Aiden Ross's stream.
Mhm.
Mhm.
They did
Yeah.
a 6.5
Come on, man.
Mhm.
hour stream.
There's no time limit on nothing.
Yeah,
Six
that's
and a
true.
half
Yeah.
No
hours.
time limit.
Kai
on a
streamed
stream?
for a whole month
Come
My
on.
man did a whole month just
Yeah,
straight
just
stream.
streaming.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
and had different folks
who's
on
gonna
there.
do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's almost like artists now have to go to those platforms.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know. Do they? Do they have to go to those platforms in order to promote their album? Is that now like the requisite stop that they have to make is to go to like a Kai Cenat type of
But look at
stream?
what age he is. He keying into those people. They gonna listen to the music.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to go there to be successful,
Mhm.
but I think that once you reach a certain status, it kind of becomes part of you
Mm.
want to say that you're in that community. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Like, there's tons of artists that don't go on streaming
Yeah.
platforms
Right.
and they do well. But when you get to a Drake, to a Sexy Red, to a Nicki Minaj, when you get to that level, it seems like those are primarily the ones you see. You don't see a whole lot of up and coming.
You don't.
They don't do.
They don't do up and coming.
I feel like at this
Well,
at that
Sexy
stage.
Well, I mean,
what
but
she
Sexy,
did-
but Sexy
yeah.
Red, I mean, she
But
was
she
already
signed already.
She was already signed.
She
though.
already
You know what I
signed,
mean?
Yeah.
And
She
I
was-
mean, I'm sure Kai not letting people in for free.
No,
like,
he not.
unless you
Nah.
got an Amazon vest
Yeah.
on, like you ain't coming up in there. You know what I'm saying? He not.
Yeah.
So I'm sure the check is written. So
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
you know, it still gives us as the consumer the opportunity to decide whether or not we like the music. But it's good for him and it's good for the labels because they know where they can go to find that audience.
Right.
And I think it's only a label thing at this juncture. You got to be like crazy hot in the
Crazy
streets to
hot.
be an independent.
Yeah.
And Kai, it got to be something that just somebody fell in love with.
Yeah.
And I know we giving the shine to Kai. I'm sure there's probably tons of other streamers
Yeah, for
as
sure.
well.
For sure.
Kai is
But
all I
he
know.
is
I'm
right
joking.
now.
I'm joking.
But right now, I mean, that's
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 the top guy.
top
yeah.
guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Top
Yeah.
guy.
But to be honest, one of the things I think is best for by these artists going on these streaming platforms. You know what I mean? It's the personality. Cause they go to these Big Boy and Ebro and Breakfast Club and all that. So those are real life interviews for them for their music run. Unlike going over there to Cenat, then we just really chilling. Like when I don't have to worry about feeling like, am I being interrogated? Am I gonna be asked something that I don't really feel like talking about? Do I have to? They really go over there and they kick it. You know what I mean? They really be chilling, having fun, being silly, like just being an actual human being that we never really get to see a part of them on it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best part. It's like, oh, God,
I think that's why people like
Oh,
it
you
so
know, you know,
much.
you
That's what
can,
they like.
yeah,
it's
you
like
can
he
say
really
so.
silly for real,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
she really cool. Like they want to see that because again, we're only seeing highlight reels on Instagram and Twitter.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Him dancing with Chris Brown and
Come
all that
on,
kind of
man.
stuff.
Right.
Like,
Oh
That was
yeah, that was
hilarious.
crazy.
And that's something we already know about Breezy. He loves to dance, but it's
Right.
like, how often do we get to see this just like
Just
spur of the
organic.
moment, just
Yeah.
organic? It's
Right.
spontaneous. You feel what I'm saying? And I think that's what it is. It's the personality and the fact that it's spontaneous. You never know what's gonna happen there.
You never know.
You never know.
But I think, to kind of, start putting a bow on this particular topic is they have a certain level of influence.
True.
They have a certain level of power,
For
right?
sure.
And kind of like any streamer, any quote unquote influencer can say, I don't like that. I think that's trash. And all of a sudden that can dictate the success or failure
Right.
of a particular project because one person who has such a large following can say, I don't like that. And a lot of people, because they rock with that individual, will then also adopt that same mindset to go, well, if you don't like it, I don't like it either. Right?
Yeah.
Where back in the day we had, the charts, we had things where people could actually vote and give their opinion, in relationship to that particular song or project. Now it could be one person that says, I don't like that. And I got 100 million subscribers. And 80 million of them don't like your music.
Yeah.
It's like when we
like,
when we
wow.
all were 24, we all was doing something different. It was a different way we were taking the music. My dad was 24. He was taking in music a certain way.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
it'll pass.
Changed,
Like my son is 24. So he's Kai's age. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like one of those things.
I think the coolest piece about it is when you really think about how those streamers have. It's just an additional platform for any kind of art form. Because like you said, Kevin Hart goes on there.
Oh, yeah,
he's not
John
making-
Cena was on there.
Yeah, and so it does give you a chance to get instant and hopefully genuine feedback. When you was reading XXL, you just reading XXL. It's not.
Right.
There's no level of engagement. It's no instant feedback. You don't get anything from that. You can form your opinion, but then you got to go to your friend's house and tell them what you thought about what you saw. These chat groups give them the opportunity to give instant feedback, whether they like or don't like. And I think that's probably why that medium is fueled more and more, why the guys' subscriber numbers keep going up, because people want to know that they can go places and have their voices instantly heard.
Yeah, it's instant. It's instant. It's right
instant.
there. You know
That's
what I
right.
mean? It's like we don't have to wait a week for this. None of that. This is getting whatever's being done and being said is right now.
Facts.
Yeah.
It's like
now.
It's like you got Jet, Ebony, XXL.
Yeah.
Different levels of, like I said, when you at a
Scratch.
certain age. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of power for one individual to have to dictate the success or failure of a person's
Project.
of a project.
Yeah.
In that sense, I mean, so of course this podcast is called the Indie Unplugged, right? So how does a person? I'm an independent music creative, looking to expand, looking to gain some additional exposure for my project. I'm not at that level. I can't go on, these different types of platforms. So what are things that they can do where they can still sort of utilize the same types of mediums, but maybe not at those particular levels to achieve a certain level of results.
Just kind of get cool with people. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're an artist, get cool with a person. Like, you don't know who they know.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I say, like you said, networking.
Yep.
You know, tap in with us. You know, any event that you can, you know, really put yourself in the midst of. You ain't always got to be performing. Sometimes you can just go in there just so you can mingle and tap in with some people.
Right.
And make sure you put your music everywhere. Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music. Those are monthly subscriptions that have to be paid in order to have access. What about the people that don't want to pay?
Bandcamp.
You got Bandcamp, you got Audio Mac, you guys still got SoundCloud. You know what I mean? Put your music everywhere so everybody can listen and network like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think my theory is always, I tell people, if you build it, they will come.
Field of Dreams, one of my favorite movies. By the way.
So a lot of times, you know, maybe you start with a streamer you find that streamer who's got 1,000 viewers and tap in with him.
Yeah,
that's true.
And then build it with him. Like, hey, you know, and I know 5 other artists and we all do the same genre of music. And, you know, we can I got my 500 followers. They got their 500 followers. And you build something from the ground up, that community can become, you know, what they need to help push them to the next level or to continue at least the growth of their career until they can get to a Tye Cenat type level.
Yeah.
You know, you got to get the attention first and you need the people for that. So if you can build it,
they will come.
Yeah.
I love that's one of my favorite movies though. Field of Dreams, one of my favorite movies. I went to actually go visit the Field of Dreams in Iowa.
Yeah.
In Iowa.
Yeah.
Wow. I was like, yo, this is so dope.
That's crazy.
The house was there, the baseball field was there, everything was there. But it was super dope.
That's crazy.
But yeah, if you build it, they will come. I love that approach because a lot of times people's like, well, I can't get on that, so I don't know what to do. It's like, well, find somebody who's currently doing it. Maybe not at that level, but find somebody who's currently doing it. I will always tell people, start a podcast. If you are a music creator, you should be starting some type of content, something, right? You ain't got to have all these mics and this setup like this that I spend a lot of money on, but you ain't got to do all this stuff and have all these amazing, you know, $1,000 cameras and lenses and all this other crap. Your iPhone, because I got an iPhone.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
iPhone. Your iPhone can take great.
The light.
Them lights are cheap.
Look,
them lights right there.
When you got your iPhone,
them lights right there, mad cheap. You can get them on Amazon, $50-some. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't got to have the best equipment, but you eventually work your way up there.
Yeah, true.
But
somebody you got to do something.
You got to do something.
You got to do something.
I
had somebody brave enough one time to come up to me on a basketball court because I was on the phone talking while I was just shooting around. They were like, hey, I heard you talking. I'm a songwriter and I want to get some of my stuff out. And I was like, okay, well, where can I go to hear it? They were like, well, I haven't put none of it out yet because I'm waiting on the copyrights.
I hate that. I hate when people do that.
You know, now for me, that's a great moment, right? Because I love to give. I love to teach. I love to mentor. So it was a great moment. But the reality is you got to do something. Just do something. Get it out there so it can be seen, so it can be heard, so that you can even begin to tell your story. You can tell the story about how your first song was bad, but your 10th song was slapping. Yeah. But you can't do that until you drop the first one.
That's right.
That's true.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, man. It's plenty of ways to be able to
plenty
get
of ways.
out here, man.
True.
Yeah.
So on the flip side of this, right? We indie artists can do all these great things, but you know, right now there's a conversation that's permeating itself within the music industry to say that the music industry is dying. Like it's the death of the. So if you go on YouTube right now, you're gonna see, and you type in the death of the music industry, you're gonna see a ton of videos that talk about the death of the music industry. Shoot, Joe Budden did a whole podcast talking about the death of the music industry, right? And so, is the music industry dying?
No, I don't think so.
No, it's not. It's
Why not?
not.
everything come back around. You know, anything you do, it's gonna literally come back around.
Yeah. And when you say music industry,
Mm.
when you say music industry, it's kind of hard to say music industry is dying when there is so many different types of music. Are you talking about just rap and hip hop genre? Or are you just talking about music completely? Because
completely.
And that's crazy.
It's crazy.
That's
I don't think
crazy.
so.
Because you have like look how big, just from an example of Beyonce stepping into the country music.
Mm-hmm.
20 million. You know,
And
for the halftime show.
not only that, but she's helped breathe
Mm-hmm.
light on other artists that was already doing it, but just couldn't really, you know what I mean?
Yep.
With coming from, you know, Black America.
Right.
Now you have Shabuzi out here going crazy.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, how you gonna say music is dying when there are people who are actually making music of substance? You just ain't paying them no attention.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
I think
gotta
it's-
search for it. Oh, you go ahead.
I think it's I think perception is reality.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that you gotta look at it from both ends of the spectrum. Now, the industry, is it dying? Well, if there were 10 plants in here and 5 of them shriveled up, would you say that the plants were dying? And we know, especially the fourth quarter of the year that just passed, labels were consolidating. They were, entire divisions was getting laid off.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you look at it from the music industry in that fashion, you say, well, what's happening? There must be, that they're not making money.
Right.
It's drying up, almost like the plant, right? It's drying up if they out here just, closing offices, and you got big labels buying small labels.
Yep.
It's, big, I call it big bank take little bank.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that going on out here right now. So
Yeah.
the infrastructure has changed. Now, sometimes, you got to kind of regroup. And that's what I think is going on within the industry.
Right.
But to your point as well, there's the artistry.
Yep.
And the artistry ain't going nowhere.
Nah, facts. Nah.
Yeah, I don't think that's.
Yeah, those are two kind of, the artists are still even on an independent level, more than half of the music that is released on streaming platforms is released by independent acts,
right?
Not by those signed to majors.
True.
So is music thriving, creativity thriving, and even the independents feeling empowered? Those things are thriving, but the machine, as we know it, it's gonna look a little different going forward.
Yeah, of course, everybody's gonna say, TikTok played a big part in that, because of a lot of artists were able to, blow their song or their project up off of the engagement from TikTok. But then at the same time, it's like we have been able to witness for ourselves. The labels are not it no more for you to get your music heard and played and to the masses.
Yeah.
Because of the independent artists taking it upon themselves to say, hey man, shoot, I got 20,000 saved up. I'm gonna put my music out and I'm gonna do this with it and put my own money into it. And again, you got these online distribution companies where you don't need a label to put your music out.
Yeah.
True. You don't need the label to do that. Because you can put it out on any streaming platform, right?
Right.
I think the issue becomes, yes, I can put it out on these streaming platforms, but how do I, in a sea of other creatives, get people to listen to my particular music when there's 180,000 songs a month being uploaded?
And it's baseball. And at some point, you keep swinging, you're going to hit something.
Yeah.
I'm able to load as much music as I want. So I'm loading it. I'm finding what works for me, what doesn't work for me. Eventually, I'm going to put something on there. and I'm gonna hit it. I may not do a home run, but I might knock it in the outfield. You know what I mean? Something just to get something going.
And it may not be this year.
And
Right.
And I think that's the type, because we live in a
marathon.
society that want it like right now.
of course.
Like Timberland and Genuine. That track he had was old. My opponent was old.
Yeah.
And Genuine liked it too.
Well, the track was old,
Yeah.
but when the song came out, because Genuine was an artist and was known, so when that came out, it was an instant hit. But for somebody who's like, you know, Joe Schmo the artist, in a sea of other independent artists uploading their songs, 180,000 plus a month that's being uploaded. Is it a month or a day?
It's probably a day.
It's probably a day. It's
Yeah,
probably a
day.
day. That's being uploaded to these DSPs, right?
Yeah.
You know, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff that go into it, from marketing and branding and
Let me tell you something.
from that side.
Ooh. That's the biggest difference. Access. Like we just talked about the streamers. It's access. And you're right. You gotta, put the music out there, and you gotta keep trying to figure it out. It's kind of a little bit. It's a little bit of a ceiling on what you can do.
Oh, yeah.
If your money don't stack up, or you don't get the support or the investor.
Yeah.
The great thing about the TikTok moment is it gave people hope.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all it gave, if you ask me.
Right.
Because guess what? It didn't make careers. Show me the TikTok artist who now has a career.
Facts.
They might have had a hit.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them might have had a hit and a half. But none of them were able to create longevity, because that's just not how music works.
Right.
So Tye, I'm gonna ask a question. So is the game where it's at right now is because nobody's working to actually have it as a career?
The microwave was invented quite a while ago. But I can tell you that we have all appreciated it.
Right. Well,
And as fast as you can get it is exactly how fast you want it.
Right. Facts. Yeah.
And so I think that even those who love it and are willing to do it for a lifetime, they still want the success today.
True.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Today. And then that's the gift and the curse of the TikTok moment, is because some of them, those songs, it might have been, I think even the $1 Million Baby song wasn't even done when it first got played on TikTok. So if you can't get it no faster than that, that might have been faster than a microwave.
Yeah, facts.
That's like cooking with the door open.
Yeah,
which
real
ain't good for nobody. Right? But
That's right.
But even after that, came out with a project, and then what happened? Project flops. And they're like, oh, why? Oh, well, it's really only 2 or 3 songs on there that even sounded like that song.
Yeah.
So now you're going back to, you got to be willing to put in the work the right way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because even if it hit quick, is it going to stay though?
Yeah. It got to stick at some point.
It got to stick at some point.
And I think that's what a part of it where it's like, that's why I was saying like earlier, you got to put the music out, but that's what I'm saying. You got to put enough out to where if you throw enough on the wall, eventually something going to stick.
No, that's only half the battle though. Yeah. Because you ever been to especially when you meet a lot of new artists. You ever been to an artist page and they got 3 albums on there and they say they have 2 monthly listeners on their Spotify?
Yeah.
And so even though they got 3 albums worth of material, without the right kind of promotion, without some kind of promotion, and by the way, your followers are not your fans. Your family and your followers, independent artists. Is this on? Is this mic on?
Yes, it is.
They are not fans. So even when you put it on your Instagram page and they follow you, that doesn't mean they're going to go listen to the music.
Facts. Right. Yeah, true.
It's got to be more than that.
Right.
And so that's why I say you're right. We can't even start the conversation until the music is there to be heard. True. 100%. You're right.
I mean,
but then you got to do something with it. You got to move around.
Yeah, facts.
Right. If you don't move around, it's just going to sit there. Yeah, I can give you the example of the person with the 3 albums and the 2 monthly listeners. I can give you the example of a person who made 3 albums on his cell phone, never left the house, and ended up starting a bidding war to sign him to a major label. He never left the crib.
Oh, you got me thinking of who that might be. Is that Lil Tyler?
That probably happened for him too, because this guy is kind of in the same. The artist's name is Loaded.
Yeah, I heard of him.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. I've heard of Loaded. Yeah.
Yeah, made the music on his phone.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, he got 3-4 labels making legitimate
That's
offers.
crazy.
They sending paperwork. And he
That's
never left the
crazy.
house.
Crazy,
You feel what I'm
crazy.
saying?
So, so then you say, well, how is that possible?
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me ask you a question. Where's the one place you can find the most listeners of a particular genre or style of music at one particular time, just on a random day of the week? That's going to be at school. He in school with 500-600 other kids.
Yeah, facts.
Now you start talking about the other schools in the school district.
Yeah,
You
facts,
start talking about
Mhm.
the little brothers and the big brothers and cut. So it's like, bam, back to what you said. You put it out there and they like, let me see what he got going.
Yeah, it's like
Right.
it'll spread like a virus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
for
So
sure.
that part of music is going to be alive. You can't kill that.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah. It's like the Field of Dreams, right? If you build it, they will come. But if you ever watched the movie, he didn't just build it and sit back and everybody just showed up. Terrence Mann didn't just show up,
That's right.
right? He had to actually go out and get Terrence Mann to actually come. And then Terrence Mann he eventually saw everybody and was like, oh, I want to be a part of this now, right? But he had to actually put work in. He had to do stuff, right? He had to actually, now he didn't really market the baseball thing, but people came, they did this, and at the very end, everybody showed up.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of work that he had to do in order to get to that particular point, right?
Yeah.
His daughter fell off the thing.
Yeah.
The doctor came out of the out of the field to save her, and he couldn't go back because now he was in the right. I know the whole movie. That's one of my favorite movies, right?
Yeah.
And so
No, but you're right. He had to.
He had to work.
And then the people who show up at the end, like, oh man, this is nice. And you like, yeah, my back
you
hurt.
see how much work I done-
all the work I done put in.
build this field.
It's nice.
Put these bases. I had to travel all across the country.
Yeah.
Had to find Terrence Mann. Terrence Mann was James
What
Earl
was his
Jones,
name?
right?
Yeah, James Earl
Right.
Jones.
He had to find Terrence Mann and
Yeah.
bring him back and do all these other things. But it takes a lot of work, and I think a lot of time, a lot of artists don't want to put in the actual work that need to be done to really do what they need to do. Now, because we live in that microwave society, right? It's we live in the age of virality. And it's like, oh, let me throw something up and hope it goes viral.
See if it go viral.
See if it go viral. If it go
I
viral,
can't
I'm gonna be
stand that.
on.
That's
It's like,
the end all to everybody. It's just like, well, you never know. Could go
no,
viral.
Could go viral.
Yeah.
Hey, you never know. It might not go viral. Then
Right.
what?
Then
Then what's the
what?
plan?
Then you gotta go back from scratch.
That's
You
right.
gotta start from the beginning and
That's
see what it
right.
can do for you.
Gotta grind it out.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah.
When you think about it, a lot of labels have started to purchase independent music companies. Right. I don't know if you've seen this in the news. A lot of the big three, right, are now buying up independent labels
Yeah.
and incorporating them into their business model. Right. So some of the indies that used to exist from an indie label perspective no longer exist because you got the big three who are coming in going, we don't want to have the indies doing what they're doing without us having some type of piece of this pie, right? And so now they're starting to purchase these different avenues where they're now shutting out, or the perception is they're shutting out independent artists and music creators from taking these different avenues and these different routes so that they can have more control of that lane.
Yeah.
Where you used to be able to go down, now you really can't because now it's owned by the by the major. And they're doing certain things to kind of squeeze the indie artists and the indie music creatives and putting a lot of pressure on them so that they eventually have to follow that that major, pathway. Because you really pay attention. I mean, you're right, Ty. They did start laying off a
whole lot of people.
a whole lot of people,
labels.
right?
Consolidating and getting rid of total offices.
Yeah.
One of the slickest move. It's Big Bang take Little Bang.
Yeah.
And so
That's right.
what's happening now, you got to think about A lot of these distribution companies, you think when you join you pay your monthly subscription or your annual subscription, and then you release your music, you're thinking you independent, right? Of course you are. Yeah, I'm gonna sign up for AWOL,
Right.
and I'm independent. I'm on AWOL, right?
Yeah. You
Well, what you don't know is that Sony owns AWOL.
That's right.
And so now when you got a song and it's popping, Sony gonna reach out to you and say, remember when you clicked on that little button that said you gave us the first right to refusal? And you like, well, what are you talking about? Because I don't remember. I didn't read it really. I just clicked it because I had to click it in order to upload my song.
Yeah.
Right.
And so they say, well, if you go with it, we'll send you a little deal, a little advance money. If you go
Right.
with us, then you good. And then you say, well, I don't want to go with y'all. Well, your song is popping on Spotify.
That's right.
Well, guess who owns
Spotify. Oh, we'll get into that
a
later.
little bit of
Oh,
Spotify?
yeah.
Because
gonna be
guess
later.
who own a little bit of Spotify?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you sure you don't want to sign?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Because if you don't, I bought your distribution company and the number one streaming platform in the world.
Yeah.
I'm well invested.
Super.
So,
invested.
like you
You're
said, it puts a pinch on them.
Mhm.
But I will say, by the time you got into that point, you know you're on to something.
You on to
Yeah.
something. Especially if they, exactly.
You know,
If they putting their foot on you
Oh,
like
yeah,
that,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, I got something there.
But they
Oh,
not about to. The major labels are not to the point of is the industry dying? Well, they done figured out where to find the fertilizer,
Mm.
and it's in the independent community.
Mhm.
So it's like if I go ahead and I buy all of these seeds, even though they have not grown into anything yet, some will make it and some won't. And the ones that start to grow, then I'll go ahead and grab those. The rest, I'll just let them lay on the ground.
Yeah, facts.
Heck
Yeah.
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 I don't have to buy
Because there's no sweat off their back.
Yeah, I
Either
mean
way,
they
one
just
way or the
made it
other.
so much easier on themselves.
They sure did.
It's like, wait, so now I got information on all of these independent artists now because I bought the distribution company.
Mhm.
So I can see what's starting to bubble.
Yeah, facts.
And when I see it bubbling, then I just
If
go
you
to
want,
them. Hey,
press the button.
it's looking real
That's
good.
right.
We see what's this? Is it? I'm gonna get it wrong. I'm gonna say Leangelo.
Oh, Leangelo.
The ball.
Angelo Ball. Yeah.
One song. He got one song. His one song got him an $8 million guaranteed.
Yeah.
It's a
That's right.
$13 million
That's
contract,
right.
$8 million guaranteed off of one record. And that has nothing to do with how well that record is doing right now, but how well they think they can make that record do.
That's
Yeah,
right.
facts.
So-
yeah.
So here's the thing. So that's virality, right?
Yeah.
So that song it went viral.
100%.
Went viral.
Yeah.
So what happens when we officially signed? I think it's Def Jam he signed to.
Yeah,
No,
it's
he
Def
signed
Jam.
to, right? Def Jam. So what happens when they work on the project and eventually release the project and the project flops? Let's just say it flops. I'm not saying that it is, right?
Yeah. Well, it's
It's a legitimate
It's a legitimate
concern.
thing, right?
It's,
like
it's an investment.
it's an
Because
investment
Because
they're
at the end of
making.
the day,
Yeah.
that's another startup of a business
right.
working with this man. So if it don't go well, guess what?
But
Every
there's
business thrive just
True.
off the first. You feel what I'm saying?
but there's no proof of concept, right? There's no longevity of proof that this is a sustainable. I mean, I don't know how many songs does.
It wasn't like that back in the day.
I
either.
would love to see that contract.
That's true.
It wasn't like that back in the day.
That's
I
true.
just
That's
watched
true.
the R&B podcast with Tank and
Yeah.
Jay Valentine.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. They,
Love that. And I actually went in and watched the one with Troy Taylor.
Yeah.
And I was listening to them talk about how like they used to get deals off artists just from what they had already.
Mhm.
True.
Not saying the song is a hit and it's already
That's
on the
true.
radio.
You're right.
Like
I
this
stand
is what
corrected.
they're
You're true.
hearing as the potential.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it seems like to me, it's like when those situations happen like that, everybody like shocked, like, oh my God. But it's like, no, that's how it was at once upon a time.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
would,
Now you're right.
and they actually took those artists and put them under artist development. So
Wow.
when they did get put
That's
on
a
those,
different thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think we've ever seen. We never seen anything to the 8 million mark though. We never seen nothing like that.
no.
And that's why I say I would love to see that contract
Me
because it's
too.
got to be. You know how I only tell you the part that I want you to know.
It gotta be
Yeah.
some
It
twist.
gotta
Something.
be.
Yeah.
He's got to be putting up some of his own money. It's got to be
man,
a penny for penny type We gonna put 8 million into your project if you put 8 million into your project, and then based on the numbers that it'll do, you can earn the other 5 to get you to the 13.
But see, here's the thing though. I mean, now you can correct me if I'm wrong, right? But isn't he already like famous though?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He
already known.
He probably got 8 million
already.
Or if he don't, he can get it.
He ain't like me. I'm just, like us. We just independent artists trying to make it. And all of a sudden they like, oh, your song went so viral. You so hot. We want to give you $8 million deal.
Yeah.
Like this dude is already like a famous dude, right? Like, that I know.
Times is different because it definitely wasn't like that for AI. Allen Iverson,
when
he tried to start when he started.
We know.
So times is definitely different. But again, it's like, hey, if it goes up,
give it a shot.
Give it a shot.
Yeah. If it doesn't,
keep pushing.
It's worth a try because again, he's already set. In our eyes, we don't know his, really his situation, but from us seeing him in the league, hey, you made, you know what I mean? So why not?
Is he in there? Is he the one that's not in the league? Ain't he? He the one that was playing overseas.
I think so. Yeah,
he was playing overseas.
Yeah.
So he
in some league.
Yeah,
he was
overseas league.
Yeah,
but they still got money though.
Either way, yeah,
right.
Either way, he got bread.
He got.
Now, I don't know if he got 8 mil bread, but you know, like I said, you never know. The deal could be. It could be that $13 million could be for 3 projects.
True.
It could.
You never know.
True. You never. What his MDRC is.
That's right. That's right.
You never. Oh my god.
You never know.
You never know what his commitment level has to be.
I'm sure we'll find out.
We're gonna find out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but right now it just sounds real spectacular.
It sounds real good, and who knows what Def Jam is willing to do, because again, it hasn't been anything over there in a while.
Yeah.
The only person I know that's really doing something, and they doing it in their own market, is Benny the Butcher. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's it. I don't know anybody else, as far as just making Def Jam like noise over there.
Right.
So it's worth a try to see where it goes.
We gotta see what distribution company Def Jam gonna buy.
Right.
Because they buying them up. Like
exactly.
It's a couple others too where you small little boutiques and
they gonna buy them up.
Yeah. I wonder who he put that song out.
Under. Right. As far as the distro?
Yeah.
Ain't no telling,
distro
man.
kids.
You got distro kids, you got TuneCore.
By the way,
TuneCore.
Who owns part of Distro Kid? Spotify.
Exactly.
Money.
So it's like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And who's in bed with Spotify? A whole lot of
all 3 of the majors.
3 of the majors, right?
Yeah.
All 3 of the majors are.
Yeah.
But I think this conversation leads into the third topic, which is, why do we no longer see longevity from artists? Right? They're either here today, gone tomorrow, right? One of my Yohance knows this. There is not an episode where I can go without mentioning J. Cole. Right?
Yeah. That's true.
My tech guy over there is like, here we go with
J. Cole.
Right? Some J. Cole and some J. Cole reference he gonna say.
Man, gotta look back here. I think it's
right. J. Cole was like,
it's over there.
in his song, he was like, in 5 years you're gonna be in love and hip hop, right? Like your career, you started off great, but your career crashed so fast that you're gonna find yourself on a reality show, right? And not to knock reality shows, because one of my homies is on a reality show.
It's funny because I just had a conversation yesterday with somebody about the fact that it used to be that reality shows were where it was thought that that's where you go when you washed up. It's not really like that anymore.
It's not like that no more.
Not anymore. Now you can get stuff popping for yourself now, but it used to be you'd be like, oh, I remember him, or I remember that.
Exactly.
But now
that's where the wash ups go.
Yeah. Now you be popping on there a little bit.
Yeah. Nah.
I know,
but I know what J. Cole was talking about.
I know who you talking about.
I'm talking about. Hey, I mean,
my homie.
It ain't like it's a secret. Like it's not a secret that International Nova and his wife are on.
Yeah. He a cool dude, man. Super cool dude. Real.
I joined his live the other day. He was like, "Yo, come on to the live," and we sat there and talked about marriage and all that stuff. But that used to be the place you go and die. Right? Was to reality TV. But think about artists that have come up recently in the last 2 to 5 years that you just don't hear from anymore, that were once pinnacle, but no longer there.
Give me an
Right.
example.
Joe Budden. That's
Joe Budden.
I'm just saying.
Like, what about Lil Uzi Vert?
What you mean?
Well, no, he's still doing his thing. What it ain't
like
how it was.
I know. Okay, so I'm gonna say this, and it's just again from my perspective, my opinion.
Yeah.
You can't really even put Uzi in there because he has a cult following. He's like Playboy Cardi.
I was gonna say he's not the only one. Though.
Yeah.
He's not the
It's
only one.
about 5 artists where
sure.
they may not have a song on the radio at all, but believe
People are
they popping.
they
The shows
waiting.
are selling out. Every festival that's hip hop related is trying to
Mhm.
get them on the bill,
Yep.
but it's just not gonna. Commercial success is not as valuable as it used to be.
Facts.
Exactly.
That's
You
what-
don't have to
yeah.
be
Exactly.
in front of the lights and cameras and successful
Nope.
in order to be successful
Mm.
anymore.
Facts.
You can be that
Mhm.
independent or that sign. Labels are signing artists and not even trying to release music
Nope.
because they
Facts.
know that they
That's right.
festival game is on lock.
Oh my!
That's
And it's
right.
like we selling T-shirts like going crazy, $30 T-shirts and festival tickets,
We
and
making $250,000 off
they
of
on
it.
360s. So
Right. You know they on
so the
360s.
labels is getting they fair share of the cut, or
Yeah.
Mhm.
not fair, but they getting their share of the cut. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
one
but
thing
that's
I
a
thought
good
about.
point. A lot of artists, you kind of don't see them anymore.
Right.
You have to kind of wonder.
And so
What they're doing, but it's the same way for Future though. Future's been here for years. The man is 42, 43 years old. When the last time have you seen him do an interview with anybody?
But look who
yeah,
he connected to.
but Future is putting out music. He's
He
still
is.
in the
He's still in the
commercial
commercial
eye.
eye,
Dungeon
for sure.
Family.
You know what I'm saying? So
for sure.
And again,
He's
he aims for that
Dungeon
at time, but then when
no,
you look at
I'm weak.
like literally.
when you look at Uzi,
Yeah.
though, Uzi, he has such a cult following. He can go in any bag he wants to. Like
What
he's
about
in
Kodak
that-
Black?
Same way with him. It's again, he just stays in trouble.
That's true. Though.
He just stays in
Yeah.
trouble. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
that's true.
he can't, like, from the beginning of his
A lot
career
of
to
them
now,
do.
it's the same thing from him. It's
Yeah.
like keep yourself together to avoid from going to jail.
Like Lil Yachty, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he was. There was a time commercially he was huge. Had Sprite endorsement. He's doing major
Mhm.
big
Yeah.
Sprite commercials and other endorsements.
Yeah.
Now it's like, yo, where's Lil
Hey,
What's Lil Yachty at?
I'm just going. I'm going.
Yachty busy.
I was just.
But that's the thing.
Yachty-
Just because we don't see them.
Yachty real busy.
Yes.
All these females dropping all this hot music.
It's aside.
Yachty
From,
pen
Yeah,
ain't
yeah.
stopped moving in about
Yeah.
3 years.
aside from that,
Mhm.
he like, you know, again he did he landed that big deal with Hyde
Mm-hmm.
and with you know, the label. So it's like he has Concrete. He has his group Concrete, and I ain't gonna lie to you. I bump into him often, and they literally be glued to the studio.
Hmm.
So it's whether it's him or it's the Concrete group as a
Right.
collective, they working, and they one thing I do know about Yachty, he takes his time.
Mm.
He's never just jumped out there and just was like, "Hey, what's up, y'all? What's going on? What's up?"
Right.
You know, it's more so of like when he come out, it's very strategic. It's almost intentional, and he takes his time with it. You know what I mean? Because
Mhm.
it's I've never seen, regardless whether I like whatever song he's put out, it's hit.
Right, right.
Like, look at his dad. He a photographer, so he know a bunch of people.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying? So it's like he's definitely
So when you look at those types of artists and thinking about that topic, how come they don't last long, or just the topic of longevity within the music industry,
Mhm.
right? You know, you still are hearing from my favorites, of course, Wu-Tang, right?
Mhm.
You still
I thought you
hear
was gonna say J. Cole.
Oh yeah, J. Cole.
Yeah, J. Cole.
My
You like
favorite.
J. Cole?
J.
Cole is one of my favorites, but
Yeah.
Wu-Tang is like my ultimate favorite, right? I mean, but you're still hearing from Ray and Ghost and Meth,
Yeah.
right? And even Redman, because I got to throw him in there somewhere.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? And they still have that longevity, and they still have that applicability within the hip hop community.
Yeah.
Right. And they're dropping projects. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, and they're still relevant still today.
Yeah.
You know, but you see them commercially. And I think that's the key. Tye, I think that's the key.
Yeah.
Is because if we don't see them, we think they washed up.
We think they gone.
We think they gone.
But they
No,
may
they
not be.
may not be. Like he
They
said,
not be.
They
that
not,
pen.
though.
He got
Yeah,
that pen.
pen go crazy.
I mean, anybody. You could. It's a bunch
Hey,
of
he
artists.
probably got
like
so
that.
many credits on that last JT album.
Yeah, nah. It's aside from that, it's like again, we gonna take it back to what we was accustomed to. MTV, BET. They ran stuff to where it kept that stuff in our face to make it seem like we knew what they was doing all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's like now we don't have that. People are barely home now.
Yeah.
People are barely watching TV. So
Yeah.
it's like now it's kind of like,
And the streamer kind of still is that. Like when Kevin Hart didn't have no movie popping, he showed up on Kai Cenat.
you feel me?
You
Chris
just watch it
Brown's
from
tour
your
was
phone.
over. He at the crib chilling. Boom, you see him on Kai Cenat.
Right.
Telling you,
Who
yeah.
else was on there?
Everybody.
Drew-
Right.
Like you said,
Tyler.
everybody.
Drewski on
yeah.
there.
Drewski.
Oh, even I mean,
You name it.
where else have you seen Nicki Minaj recently? But she was on Kai Cenat.
That's right.
You know?
Yes.
And we hadn't seen her outside in a minute.
Yes.
So
I think it was just the way that things were presented to us once before. It's like that's not the thing no more.
That's right.
So it's like now we kind of like we have been spoiled with technology now.
Yeah.
Because
Mm.
again, I don't have to wait until Tuesday when the album come out.
yeah.
Mhm.
I don't have to sit at the record store. I don't have to get a ride to go to the
Yeah.
record store. I'm
Mhm.
literally doing everything I want from my phone.
Yeah.
When
That's the beauty of it.
I
He said
love
that's the beauty.
I love Fridays because when I'm up half of the time at midnight.
yeah.
So on a Friday going, a Friday morning at midnight, man, who drops some new shit?
yeah.
All I
Yeah,
do
that's
is just go to my app and literally look and see the
Look
new
and see,
releases. And
yeah.
now I'm listening to new music.
Right.
Yeah.
But some artists.
You know you can say that, right?
What's I can cause
Yeah.
oh okay. See, I ain't know. I was
I mean, you've been over here before, though.
I be forgetting though, man. Yeah. But nah, it's like everything is at your disposal.
yeah, for sure.
So it's a little different. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it really is different now. It's to me for sure.
It is. It is a different world that we now live in from an independent perspective. I've always had the phrase that this is the best time and the worst time to be an independent artist.
Yeah.
It's the best time because the doors are wide friggin' open. Like everything's
Yeah.
right there at your disposal, at your fingertips. All you gotta do
Yeah.
is go for it.
That's true.
That's it. You just gotta be the person that's gonna say, I'm gonna work my ass off more than anybody else. And I'm gonna go for it. But it's the worst time because
It's so much traffic.
so much
Yeah.
crazy. It's so much crazy.
traffic.
Yeah.
So much traffic that is out here.
Yeah.
And I got to figure out how to do stuff to, differentiate myself from this
Yeah.
particular artist. And I got to stand out from this particular artist. And there's so much competition. And I'm trying to brand and I'm trying to put myself out there. And I'm
Yeah.
trying to get the exposure that I'm trying to get, make
Yeah.
my songs go. And I got to pay for this for the YouTube ads and Google ads.
just
And I got to get
gotta
my stuff
do
popping on
it.
Spotify.
Yeah, and it's not a
just-
level playing field.
Man, it's like, yo.
Yeah.
Because if I could have the most trash album out of everybody in the room, but if I got 20 grand and y'all don't, you gonna hear
He
my
gonna
music
pop.
more than
Yeah,
yours.
yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You
most
gonna?
definitely.
I'm coming across your feed,
That's
Playboy.
right.
I'm gonna sponsor that. You about to see me.
He gonna be like,
Yeah, you about to see me. Y'all got symphonies on y'all albums.
Yeah.
I'm making beats on the lunchroom table,
That's
and I'm
right.
I'm killing the game
Yeah.
Because you got that
Most
bread.
because you got
But then also you were speaking about as far as in like the longevity of these artists and stuff. Why I feel like it was passion for those people that we think about. It was passion and it was something that they had stories of saying like, man, I've been doing this since a kid. But now you hear these stories. Now it's like, yeah,
Ice Spice was like, I never rapped before.
I just
need some money.
thought I just needed some money.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's
And this was the way
different.
to do it.
So it's like, to me, it's almost like it's like the streets and the kid who chose to skip the streets and go to college to get that degree. Everybody knows you don't need a degree to be successful,
Right.
but it's depends.
It depends on what it is
depends
you're
what
doing.
you're
Yeah,
doing.
what
You know what I mean?
Right.
But overall, it's like we're seeing it in the media like these millionaires, these billionaires, these full-fledged entrepreneurs and business owners, they didn't go to college.
Right.
But then you have the street guy who knows what it feels like to go make 20,000.
Mm-hmm.
He just as quick as he make it, he gonna blow it too.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But again, that person who goes to college, it might take them a little longer, but once they get to where they're going,
Yeah,
they're gonna appreciate it a little bit more because they worked their ass off for it compared to the
They gonna
guy
be
who
in
got
debt.
it quick.
that's what they're gonna be in debt.
he said in debt.
They gonna be in debt.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. That's
Student
one of the
loans.
beauties of it being an independent artist. You can't spend it if you ain't got it.
That's
There
right.
you go.
Yeah.
You
That's
signed
right.
to a label and they done spent money that you didn't have,
right.
and now it's
That's right.
a TLC story all over again. They out here looking like Tony Braxton.
We said we went over budgets.
Yeah,
you
went
know,
over
so
budget,
we
but,
went to
but when it's just you, if you ain't got it,
Right.
it ain't gonna get spent. If you can't, I think maybe even now, we value relationships within the industry
For
more
sure.
Mhm.
because you can get things done with relationships and not currency.
That's right.
Mhm.
You know,
Well, that becomes a currency, right?
the
Mhm.
relationships
For sure.
become
Becomes a
currency.
currency. So who you know
That needs to be on a shirt.
yes,
Relationships are currency.
because who you know and the relationship you build with that person
That's
can put you into
invaluable.
places and rooms that you
Yeah.
probably wouldn't have gotten into.
The value of
Absolutely.
that.
The
yeah.
value of that relationship. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness!
Right.
Yeah.
And-
And again, it's the taking the proper time to do that too. Like I be recording certain, a lot of artists, and to be honest, some of them don't know how to engage in a conversation.
Mhm.
They don't know how to talk. So that's one problem. They're not networking because they don't even know what to talk
Mhm.
about. They don't even, if they needed help, they wouldn't even know how to approach you and say, "Hey, I don't have this,
Mhm.
but I see that you have that. Is there any way we could,
Mhm.
chop it up and see where I
Yeah.
can, if just to get a little piece of,
I mean, I don't know how they don't know how to network in the music industry when there's an entire course on WeCreateMusic.tv of how to network in the music
Right.
industry.
Talk about
You know what I'm saying? But there's a
Yeah.
whole 7-part series or 6-part
Right.
series course that's sitting right there right now.
Talk
you
about
gotta
it.
boom it. Yeah.
They talk about how to do that.
Yeah,
Y'all need to go
nah.
watch that. Y'all ain't never see
Facts.
that.
Talk about
No, but that's true though, because a lot
Yeah.
of times people say, "Oh, I can just sit in my home and just do whatever I need to do," but without those relationships, right? Your song, your beat, whatever it may be, is really not going to go that further if you're not making relationships with other people.
Facts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like there have been tons of stories of people who have relationships that led to other things. Like as an example, there was a story that I heard of a guy who had a friend that, he was a producer, or he is a producer making beats. And his friend was like, "Yo, I know this dude right here." And all of a sudden somebody from Jagged Edge was in their DMs like, "Yo, this beat that you got, it sounds mad dope."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, "Yo, send that to me." Right? Right, Jay Foley?
Give me
Right?
a beat.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, most definitely.
Because of that relationship. Relationship is currency. And I don't know if people really truly understand that relationship and the way that you foster that relationship. Now, you're going to have some situations where you may stumble a little bit in that relationship,
Yeah.
right? You may make some mistakes, and you got to go back and kind of deal. You got to go back and kind of deal with
And
that
deal with
relationship,
it.
right?
But too, it's like when they say all money ain't good money.
True.
That's true.
All relationships ain't good relationships.
And sometimes that again,
Ooh, we preaching.
you feel me? And sometimes you only got one time to spend anyway.
That's right.
That's right. Sometimes that first impression,
Because
boom.
and again, it may not be meant for me to be around you for
That's
so
it.
long. I just need to get with you for
That's
a quick
it.
second, and
Yeah.
boom,
That motion, that access,
Yeah.
and then
I'm out
Yeah.
your way.
for a season.
That's it.
You feel me?
That's
But-
it. It's
but
kind of
Yeah.
It's kind of like a story that I heard of like Money Long was in the studio and she was in there talking negatively about someone. And then
J. Cole got up and dipped.
J. Cole was in there, right? Well, he
Oh.
came, he
Oh.
got to mention J. Cole again.
We
right?
got back to J. Cole. That transition, that segue, that thing was fire.
Yeah.
Right? You see that? And he dipped, right? He
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, y'all got negative energy. You ain't talking about people. I got to bounce."
Yeah.
But
I
sometimes,
love that though. I'm glad that she told that story.
And
Me
she was
too.
honest. She was honest about it.
Me too.
I'm glad that
Yeah,
she
she was
told
honest
that
about it.
story.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
love that because
Yeah.
people don't understand the power of words.
Mhm.
And then you know, those people who do understand it, like I guess in that scenario, J. Cole is like, I don't want no part of that.
No,
That's a relationship I can do without.
facts.
That's
Yeah,
right.
because again, ain't no telling who's in that room, what was said, but when that story gets spoken about again, they're not gonna. He don't even have to say nothing. They just gonna say who was there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Mooney Long, J. Cole was there. You know, he heard, and it's like
they were backed up out that room, like,
Right.
you feel me? It's like, and I don't blame them because again, words can get twisted so quick. Because however it started, it will not go and be spoken to the other person the same way. By the time they get back, it's gonna be 5 different stories, and it's like none of that happened.
Like the telephone game.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's right.
That's right, man. You know, so I think for the major, and I just think that the death of the music industry is a fallacy. I don't think it's dying in any kind of way because the majors have made so much money.
Yeah.
These past years, more than they probably made even back then. They've made a gang of money.
For sure.
Yes.
Right? They made a gang of money.
Still making money.
Still making money.
Yeah.
And so that kind of ties into our next topic, our last topic for today. Speaking of making money, right? Speaking of look, let me tell you what. How does this guy,
Man.
the CEO of Spotify, Daniel,
Oh, that's what I was looking at.
how does he make this much money when the independent artists and major artists don't get anywhere near the amount of money? Let me tell you what, right? So this guy, let me just put some context for this conversation we're about to have, right?
He's Swedish, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. He's Swedish.
sure.
Yeah. Right. Over $500 million earned from his stock sales, including $28 million cashed out this week. It was this week. Oh, actually last week alone. Right. This dude has almost $500 million he's earned and cashed out on $500 and something million that he's cashed out on. See, this is the thing. Stocks earned within the company. Right.
Facts.
And that's what people. So y'all don't know this. Maybe Yohance does. But there was a moment in time in my life where my wife and I, me specifically, was really into stocks. Like, and was watching the stock market and went to stock market training and learn how to buy stocks and how to trade and how to look at Fibonacci's and all these other crazy things and read the different charts and look at the different floors and the ceilings and all that stuff. And I was like really into it, like really, really into stocks. And we wonder how these people get crazy rich. It's because they got all this money somehow. I'm sure this gentleman he had all this money before, but because he's in bed with all the record labels, now he got a lot of money and they buy a lot of stock. And if you buy a lot of stock and those stocks have high yields on them and you get high rate of returns on those stock, and you can cash out on those stock and it can net you some crazy money. But here's the thing. How can this dude, Daniel, cash out on so much money in Spotify when we have artists not out here not even getting paid what they really, I don't know. Are they getting paid what they should get paid?
Nope.
Is it a fair comparison to talk about Daniel's cashing out his $500 million stock where we have independent artists getting pennies for their music on Spotify, but here we got this guy being mega rich off of a platform that has all of the music on it.
I'm saying it. Who has ever been mad at the boss getting paid and the workers get what they work for?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like again, for major corporations, how often do you see or hear about the owners?
Now, I have no issue with the employees of Spotify getting paid what they getting paid.
Right. But it's like, again.
But I'm talking about the independent music creatives who pour their blood, sweat, and tears in creating these projects, these songs, putting it on this platform, and then they only getting pennies for the music that they've created.
Because I just feel like we gotta stop just putting all our trust into the streaming aspect.
Yeah, streaming is just a piece of that pie in terms of how you go to market as an artist. It's just a piece of it. But the reality, a part of that is, I'll say, however, the reality is these streaming platforms provide something that when we were coming up, when I was 16 and 17, I never could imagine that I could just upload one of my songs and that anybody anywhere in the world could hear my song.
What?
So if we're acting like there's not access that's been given to the creative community that we've never had before, I think that's slightly disrespectful.
I'm telling you, that's why I keep stressing it. Because you gotta think about it. None of these labels used to put this music out unless it was mixed
just
and
everything.
mastered first.
Mhm.
These kids can record these songs and however it
On their
sounds good to
phone.
them,
And they
they
put it
can
out.
upload it just
Put it
like
out.
as is. They don't have to go through a mixing
Yeah.
engineer and a mastering engineer to make sure it sounds of quality.
It do it for you.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
No. Some of them aren't even doing it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say some of them are not doing it. They just recording if it's loud enough.
If it's vibe, it has got the vibe and it's loud enough.
Well, see, even that now, because it don't have to be loud enough. It'll do it for you.
It'll optimize the levels?
It optimizes levels.
It's literally will.
You can literally get like a little mastering, little something, little. I tell you
like
what,
Lil Lander?
I tell you what, for 99 cents, I'll go ahead and throw a little mastering plug in on that for you, just so it hit right with everything else on our playlist. Now your song will never make it to one of them playlists because the playlist is paid for. And you ain't put no bread up for that. But I mean, it just gave access that never existed before. And I'm another person who kind of loves stocks as well, so I follow them a lot. I say I follow Spotify more like I'm doing surveillance. Just see what they doing. I'm peeking through the blinds. But I mean, for the year, this past year, the stock's up 125%. So of course he cashed out.
Of course.
Come on, man.
He cashed out because he done made some great money this year.
Sure.
And so then that goes to the thing of whether or not the industry is dying. The reality is there's a resurgence or a insurgence of the independent community, but what the independent community probably didn't know was that the record labels owned part of the entity that they were pouring their independent money into. And so it made more money for the labels. It made more money for Spotify. The problem is, and you know this from just business platforms and the way they work, if you got a 100% increase in 2024, what kind of increase you think your stockholders expect for 2025?
Double.
They would love double.
But
at minimum, they want the same or better. Whatever that looks like.
Sure.
And so if I'm not taking any new music in, or if I'm paying the same amount of money out, it's going to make it harder for me to make the same profit margin.
Sure.
But if I can pay them less, the people who have the least amount of control over what I do, the independent artists, they have the least amount of control. If I can pay them less, I can almost guarantee that I'm building in an increase in profit year over year.
Sound like sweatshops to me.
And they know that we're gonna continue to feed music into their platforms because there is no other way.
Yeah.
Until someone creates or designs another way. But as of right now,
you know what? That's not fair. I'm sorry. We said there is no other way. That's not true. Because we have the Patreons, we have the OnlyFans, we have the...
That's right.
Y'all tripping.
Listen to my music and look at my toes.
And even, the app Even. Yeah. Those are ways where
I just heard it Even.
Yeah, you can set your own price.
You said Even. That guy's from Milwaukee. I'm from Milwaukee.
Okay.
The guy that owns it.
You want to know how I heard about Even, though?
Tell me.
Because J. Cole and Eve have a new podcast that they just put out, and that's where they're selling the podcast for you to listen to.
J. Cole was the first person I heard about that was using Even. Wow. He was putting like mixtapes on it. Yeah. He was putting mixtapes on Even.
Yeah.
I think J. Cole is the second highest income grosser on the Even site.
Yeah.
Russell, I think the Russell's number one.
Yeah.
And J. Cole is 2.
And it's dope.
And LaRussell is smoking it.
Yeah. Like smoking it. I've been diving a little bit more into him after like like last year after I kind of came across Even. And now I've been paying attention like to all the artists that were going, on there, like Raheem Devon and rest in peace to Rich Homie Quan. He had just got over there, and even a few other artists that I bumped into, in the city. Like everybody's going over there, and it's dope. Is because it's like before it get put to all these streaming platforms, you can have this. You can pay me what you want.
That's right.
What you feel is worth.
What they willing to accept.
Yeah, willing
you
to
feel
accept.
what I'm saying?
Right.
And then of course, even with LaRussell talking about as far as you're able to get royalties and buy into shares.
Yeah,
this
he's
dude
doing
on the
a
studio.
lot
He
of-
on the studio in Milwaukee. You know what I'm saying? He started there.
The guy from Even.
Yeah, he from Milwaukee.
Okay,
Literally.
So if you don't know, Yohance's from Milwaukee.
Milwaukee. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
caught that. I caught
Just
that.
get you to know. He's
Yeah.
from
Times, yeah.
born and raised, proud,
Yeah.
proud
Yeah.
Milwaukeean.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there are alternatives to the streaming platforms.
True.
And again, that's another one of those things about building community, right? Until you have done enough of the work, the microwave ain't gonna get it.
No.
You're gonna have to have done enough of the work to get a community of people to follow you to somewhere. Like LaRussell was able to get them to follow him.
True.
Like now, Isaac Hayes the third
Mhm.
is
Fan base.
wanting people to follow him over the fan base.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is it's a great opportunity for independent artists to go over there if you have a community, because there's actually like a paywall setup over there, right? And who right now can say that on a music platform you can go do social media and promote your music and get paid at the same time?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Fan base gives them that option.
Yeah.
But you got to find the communities. It's like, we're looking for people that want to go over there. We're looking for people who want to use Even. We're looking for people who want to use, I think even like, is it Bandcamp?
Bandcamp
Is one that you can also buy on there as well.
Mhm.
You don't have to use the streaming platforms, but there are other ways. But it's harder to get people to. Everybody want to go to Spotify. Everybody.
I agree.
The crazy thing is, how many people do you know who have a Tidal subscription? And Tidal pays artists
Way
more
more.
than any other streaming platform. How many people? What y'all got?
But
By show of hands, who in here got a Tidal?
I don't have the subscription.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they pay more. I got one.
I don't even. I have
I
Apple.
do.
I have
Yeah.
Apple Music.
I got
I do.
Apple
I don't have
Music.
Spotify.
I have Apple Music.
Apple
for sure.
Music. Man, what was the other one? We just
Tidal,
Spotify?
not Spot. Yeah, Spotify. No, only two I got.
I don't even
used
have
to have
Spotify.
Tidal, but
I have all three.
I
have
gotta
all
choose.
three.
Yeah, I got
If I'm gonna pay, if I'm gonna give somebody some money, I gotta.
Apple.
So I gave it to Apple.
Because of my
Right.
marketing endeavors, I have them all. But I have them all. But I know, and it's hard to get an independent artist to say, hey, focus your time on Tidal because it's going to pay you the most. They're like,
But
but
you
everybody's
gotta-
talking about Spotify.
But you
Everybody
gotta see
talks
who,
about
you gotta
Spotify.
see who
All
on
my
it,
friends
though.
got Apple phones, so we all using Apple Music. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Are you trying to get paid or not?
Facts.
You trying to get paid what you say you're worth or not?
Yeah,
Exactly.
facts.
But a lot of it comes from the notoriety of being on Spotify. Oh, where's your music?
That's right.
Where can I check your music out? I'm on Spotify.
Let me tell you why
like-
Spotify is so genius.
I'm on Spotify.
It's genius because of the vanity of the human being.
That's right.
Because to be on there and people can see how many streams you have,
That's right. It's all vanity.
that is like
That's
enough.
that handcuffs people. It's like I can't have my music on there and it not have a bunch of streams.
Yeah.
So I got to figure out how to get these streams.
It's all vanity.
Facts. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Genius.
Yeah.
Genius.
Yeah.
Genius.
But my thing is it's more than one way to really get in and grab the attention of your fan base
right.
too.
Yeah.
Because even
That's
when you
right.
mention OnlyFans, it's like, of course we know what it's been used for.
But it can be used for other things.
But
Yeah.
if you smart and innovative, then you can use it for your own good.
No, let me tell you, it's crazy you say that too, because one of the divisions of OnlyFans that makes the most money is the religious ones. Churches do broadcast their
Services on OnlyFans?
on OnlyFans.
I didn't
there
know
are
that.
there are
I didn't know
reverends
that. I didn't know that.
reverends on OnlyFans that's they cashing out.
Reverend Skin Deep.
I mean,
Oh man.
I'm not going to hell with you.
That's
I'm not going to
crazy.
hell with you. I'm
That's
not doing
crazy.
it. I'm not doing it.
Oh,
But
man.
it can be used these platforms with other monetary services
Right.
Yeah,
can be a great opportunity for artists.
for sure. Because all it is live streaming.
That's it.
Yeah.
It is just a medium that you use to push content out.
Yeah.
Now,
Sure.
people have decided to use it for other things,
Yeah.
like weird things. And I've seen some of the I've seen some crazy
He
things like
said weird thing.
on Twitch. Like they got this thing on Twitch. My son knows because but they got this thing on Twitch, and it just happened to come up. And I'm not a real big Twitch user, but when I wanted to get into Twitch to do some live streaming of like the the podcast and all that stuff, I went and looked, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that just came out. You got like people rubbing the mic and it is just that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
They're
ASMR
just, like, licking the mic.
stuff.
Like,
I
yo,
was just
what?
gonna say, yeah.
ASMR.
Why?
You do a lot of
This
that
is
on TikTok. and
People get on there and,
Yo, it's
they
crazy.
might just go buy.
bangs and
They might just go buy a big bucket of crab legs
and just
And just eat 'em.
and
Yeah.
just eat and smacking off.
mukbang is crazy name. That's
They pull that
That's
mic back, turn that
wild.
volume up, and go crazy.
wild. That is out of pocket.
Man, hey,
Mukbang.
I know what he's talking about. Yeah, they
That-
literally they get like a big plate of food and they just be
that
eating
ain't what it
in the
sound like, but
Yeah, I know what you said. Yeah.
It definitely
That-
don't sound. It definitely
like,
don't sound.
yeah.
It don't
Man,
sound like
it
talking
don't
about-
sound like there's no food involved in
food
that.
involved in that.
But thank goodness it is.
Man.
For sure.
I wish that with all this going on, I'd be sitting back to myself. I'd be like, man, if Bernie Mac was still living,
Oh,
he'd be
my
like, you
goodness.
nasty
Yeah.
mother,
Oh my goodness.
you
Yeah.
stinking mother.
You thinking, man. Bernie Mac would have made an excellent preacher though,
Oh, man.
because he just had
Yeah,
that.
you right.
He
Yeah.
just had the
That-
congregation.
That means he would have been on OnlyFans. but
Yep.
Real
The
talk.
whole congregation would have been on.
Scam a cold. Come check me out.
Yeah.
Come check me out. Come over here to OnlyFans. I'm on here today, right now.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's
12 to 2 p.m.
it's so many ways to
So many
again,
ways.
to really get in the game, man. And I
Yeah.
think with people saying this about the industry, I think it's with everything even going on with Diddy situation
Baby
or
oil.
whatnot. It's still like it's
Yo, hold on. Not even get. No, I'll let you finish first.
Yeah,
I'll let you finish
my
first.
whole thing is the only thing I want to say is people like him and amongst other people, they've been around for so long.
Mhm.
I think it's just time for some new people, some new leaders,
Mm.
some new moguls, some people to really look at, because we've looked at him for years. We've looked at Master P for years. And it's like,
Jay and Dame.
you feel what I'm saying? And it's like,
all these.
That's an
yeah.
interesting
Jay
thought.
Z, like
It's-
yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
scary thought. Who are the new moguls?
and again,
Who
just
are
like you
they?
said, this is a clear lane now.
like now, yeah.
It's a clear lane.
Because when we
now.
were coming up, you're right. You had people like Diddy.
Right.
You had, Andre Harrell. You had even L.A. Reid was still young back
Sure,
then.
for sure.
Who is it now?
So now it would be guys like Punch, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
guess
punk,
you-
yeah.
I guess-
QC.
Q Doc, is that his name? What's the guy's name over at QC?
To my
Coach.
coach,
Yeah,
coach,
Coach.
Coach and P, yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. Are they like the new?
Are they?
I don't know, but they're still kind of like.
Again.
They're like Diddy, but just right underneath that.
yeah,
Yeah,
but that's only.
yeah.
But my question is, why is it like that? Is it because Diddy and Jaden are still here, and they've always looked at it like they are so high that they can't be, that nobody can go above them?
Yo, that's very interesting.
I know.
You see what I'm saying?
You know Rock Nation's not a label anymore?
For sure,
That's
they
right, it's not.
distribution.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
They distribution.
So they bought a distribution company.
Yeah.
Or they merged with it, is what they
They gonna say that they merged.
Yeah, yeah.
We
That's
own
crazy.
that. We own that shit now.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
like,
that's
wild.
it's like, again, like, I just be sitting back. Sometimes I can't even go to sleep at night because my mind's just racing because I'm seeing everything, but I don't say
Mhm.
nothing. So it still be to where I be like, who? It is time for some new moguls. It is
Yeah.
time to look at some new people to say, hey man, I want to be like that guy. Because at one point, like every major label owner, independent, wanted They wanted the success of P. They wanted the
Mhm.
success of Baby from Cash Money. They wanted the success of Jay-Z.
Yeah, we don't
Mhm.
have that.
and
no.
we don't
have
This
have
generation
that no
don't
more.
have.
Mm-mm.
Or to your point from earlier, or is it that we just don't see them?
We
And we saw- Look,
I
we
can say
know Diddy was dancing around in the shiny suits, right? Because Suge was like, if you don't want your producer dancing around
Yeah,
in the
facts.
video.
that.
Coming over here.
So
Yeah,
is that what
yeah.
it is? We don't have enough producers dancing around in videos no more.
No,
They ain't even making videos no more.
Nah, because you
Or
got,
we
you got
ain't
people that's,
watching them.
you got people that's in the game that's they don't want to even be seen. You know, just like the other owner of Paper Route Empire, rest in peace, Young Dolph. But you know, Daddy-O.
Mhm.
No, you probably never one of y'all
Yeah, I
ever
don't
seen
know.
what he looks like, but
No.
he is the other owner of Paper Route.
Wow.
And if you ever if you ask anybody, you be around him, he'll tell you in a minute. No pictures, no videos.
Wow.
And
He wants to, you know,
because again,
stay in the cut.
he want to stay in the cut because again, we all see what fame does. We know
That's
what
right.
recognition
That's right.
do for people.
Yeah.
It's a drug for some,
That's right.
and for some, it's like, hey, I don't want no parts.
I think it's twofold though, right? Because I think there are people who have aspirations to be successful, to be at that level, but I think it also comes with a certain persona or a certain
Mhm.
perception that lives within a person who strives to be at that particular level. And on the flip side of it is, now if you are a person who wants to be successful, you want to start like a label, something like that.
Mhm.
How are you going to get people to come along with you and to be excited about the vision that you have toward this company when you have a lot of people who don't want to listen to a lot of people, right?
Mhm.
Like, so if I'm saying, hey, I'm going to be this new mogul guy and I'm starting this company, but I'm telling you that we're going to work on this particular project and it's going to take a year to do,
Mhm.
I got to eat. And they, you know, they talked about this on the Joe Budden podcast. It was like, just, which is the what they talking about was TDE and how TDE doesn't do microwave stuff.
No, they
They
don't.
they take their time. They
Mhm.
develop their artists. And a lot of people like, I got to eat today. Like,
And,
Yeah.
and again, it's one of those situations. It's like, what you in it for? How, like, are you just trying to be a rapper or are you trying to be an artist?
because there's a difference.
It is I think I've had a discussion with several people, and some people they miss it when I ask that. Are you trying to be a rapper or artist? Because it's like, again, for a rapper, yeah, anybody can rap. You know, you get on whatever beat and rap.
Right.
You ain't gotta even have no hook or whatever the case may be, whatever you want to call it. But an
And you
artist,
got to be on beat.
you feel me? But an artist gonna
It
take
ain't
their
even
time.
gotta be on beat.
That's right.
That's a bar.
Yeah. Hey, it's a bar anytime. There's truth in that. There's truth in that.
Oh,
But it's
golly.
still though, it's just like, are you trying to be an artist? Because every artist that we know, we can call out names right now. Everybody can give 3 names, and we gonna say, yeah, that's an artist. Because there was time and certain things put in. It's
right.
Nothing was just, this song's so hard, we got to put it out tomorrow. It's like, no, we gonna take our time. We gonna get this thing did right. We gonna get the right people. It's like we gonna get a second opinion. We gonna get a third opinion.
Right,
You feel what I'm
right.
saying? Sometimes we gonna have to go back in, do some post production. Like, we gonna make sure that once this put out, this is it. Like,
Yeah.
we ain't no doubling back on this.
There's a documentary that I want to see. I was finishing up watching this documentary called Dirty Pop, where it talks about this guy named Lou Pearlman and how he started Backstreet Boys
Oh,
and
Lou.
NSYNC and Old Town and a whole bunch of other groups, right? And
Okay.
how he was pretty much like a scumbag and ripped people off and robbed
I know
everyone.
what you're talking
But he
about.
started very successful groups. I mean, very highly successful. Backstreet Boys,
Yeah.
NSYNC, right?
Yeah. He was
Britney
busting.
Spears,
Right.
Yeah.
Old Town. Like, he started major groups. And it was just talking about
Had
the process
MTV on lock.
on a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was talking about the process of what he did with those artists. And he truly developed those artists. They weren't just people who just sang. He made them into superstars,
Right.
artists.
But
right?
here's the thing, though, right? You guys are fleshing this out very well because it's kind of painting a picture, and it's why the record labels and before I started even doing like the marketing stuff with Smart Cadence, I was like, oh, record label to do everybody wrong, this and that, right? The difference is labels have money. Money is time.
Mm-hmm.
You can take your time and develop an artist versus the independent artist who's also working
That 9
two
to 5
jobs,
right.
probably,
That's
right? They're probably working a 9 to 5
right.
and they probably doing a little DoorDash or some Uber on the side, whatever. They need to get a little extra bread as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so do they feel like they have the same amount of time as a signed act to a label, and that label has a responsibility to get you from point A to B.
Mm-hmm.
But you now become the vehicle to get yourself from A to B as an independent. Is that, and I think that we don't even realize, like, as just spectators, we didn't realize that labels had a promotions and a marketing and we didn't even realize that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so then you like, oh, the label robbing them blind. Well, who's paying all them people though?
True.
Right?
True.
But those things pop. We talk about those artists that Lou had, all of them had huge success.
Huge.
Yeah.
He was able to do all of that because he had the financial backing of the label to say,
no, he was a label.
we're going to do it and we're going to do it.
BMG,
Well,
but yeah.
Yeah, and because once he turned them over, I mean, they broke bread. And he made sure that those deals were where he got paid well. He got paid better than some of the artists.
He was
most of the artists.
He was a sixth member of both groups.
That's right. That's right. Literally, he got a check like they got a check.
And he got his management fee off top of that.
Lou was like, I want it this way.
He did. And boy, he got it.
He got it. Yeah. But
And
that
then
goes to that whole story about people having managers, and then you get to a certain point and then want to cut the manager loose, don't want to get a manager. The manager didn't do nothing for me, even though they got you to that point. Lou said, not on my watch.
Not on my watch. I got in this contract. I'm the sixth member.
Yeah, I'm gonna get mine. Y'all can walk away if you want.
So question. So would you say it's fair to tell to up and coming artists, aspiring artists to, again, create your own value and have some type of leverage for yourself?
How do they create the leverage?
And again, it can go in so many different ways, because it's all about what are you trying to push out. Because if you go to a label, if you don't have something, they willing to offer you whatever they feel like you need, and you will take it. But if you've already done some work of your own and say, hey, we're gonna offer you this, and it's like, well, I've already done that. I need a little bit more. You see what I'm saying? It's like having leverage. If you don't have no type of leverage, it's like, yeah, of course they can screw you over and do you however they choose to do you.
Right.
But if you actually go in and have value within yourself of your product, you step in, they say, yeah, they offering $1 million. Well,
how do you get the leverage?
Right. That's the thing right now.
So I'm saying it can go depending on who the artist is and what's your actual aim of what you're trying to do. Are you just trying to hit your core target and be like a scissor where you step out of the light and you just anticipating on everything that I put out, and create a cult following for myself, to where now I'm not only being able to be, a touring act in the States, but also being able to be that touring act that stays overseas and stay booked, throughout the year. It's like, what are you trying to do? You know what I mean? Because it's all about what's your plan. So and nobody really has a plan anymore.
So take like Doechii.
Okay.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Same label with SZA.
Same label. Yeah, you're right. Same. She with TDE.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, but if you look at Doechii's journey, she was positioning herself for success. Right. Sure. There were things that she was doing. Right. One of the things that she did, she had her own channel on YouTube.
Yeah, I followed it.
And she literally pushed out content all the time, consistently. Like, whether it was just a vlog, whether she was talking about her music, whether she was talking about makeup, whatever, right? Whatever she was talking about cooking, and she did just all these different things.
Mm-hmm.
And you're talking about how do you create leverage? You have to create it in a way that allows you to take advantage of the mediums that are present today, right?
Yes.
So mediums like YouTube,
Mhm.
right, which is it's a very saturated platform, but it is a great platform still to push your content and your message out to others.
Mm.
You got music sites like Bandcamp, which you'll keep a lot of the money, but they'll take I think it's like 15%, right? They get a little bit of it because they're providing the platform for you to do that, right? And you constantly, it's not microwave. It's not going to happen overnight because it didn't happen overnight for Doechii.
Right.
I mean, she was working day in and day out. And I think the issue for me, when I look at independent artists and creatives, when they make music, they have this thing where they only see themselves as an artist or as a rapper,
Right.
or as a producer. And it's like, you're no longer those things. Like, what you are is a business. And I think a lot of times they don't actually really realize that. Half of them don't even know what business terminologies are and what they mean and how to even go about structuring a business.
Right.
And the whole side of this is that you got to think about yourself as a business and model yourself as that's just for me because I come from a business background, as a business, right?
Yeah.
So when I'm doing things and maneuvering things, I'm always looking at it from a business perspective. And in business, I got to spend money in order to make money.
Sure.
All right. And so I may spend a little bit of money here. I work my 9 to 5. That's what I always tell independent artists. Don't fall for the fallacy that people say, quit your job today and just go full ham into the music industry and make it work. You set yourself up for mad failure, son. Right? You're going to set yourself, work your 9 to 5 and then stack your bread with that 9 to 5, but use it consistently in a way that helps to further your music career. And the more money, and if you're making money, then that money that you're getting back from maybe your 9 to 5 or DoorDash can then go to doing some of those other things. But a lot of people go, well, if I'm doing this, but I'm too tired when I come home to, like, you don't really want it that bad, dude.
Yeah, because somebody told me, somebody was said something real slick one time. They was like, think of your job as your first business partner. Like,
Facts.
that person is, as long as you do what you're supposed to do,
I do.
this person is going to help fund.
That's right.
What you really want to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's your first business partner.
That's right.
And I was like,
Yeah,
that's dope to think.
I love that. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
I think even because I too have a business background and a lot of it is in logistics. And one thing that we always say as a rule of thumb is a good worker doesn't necessarily make a good leader.
You got that right.
Right. And so
I know many of those.
Sometimes you have to, as an artist, be able to be like, you know what? I know I need to have a business side to me, but that's just not me. I'm an artist. So now I need to align myself with somebody who's going to add that dimension to what I'm trying to do.
Come on.
So that I can focus on what I really want to focus on, which is the artistry.
Yep.
And a lot of times I don't want to sound like I love labels, but the label gives you the ability to afford to stay in your artist bag.
Facts.
Yep.
So that somebody else is handling your day-to-day business, your promotions, the marketing, the PR campaigns, all that stuff is being handled by someone else. The finances.
Yeah, facts.
And so a lot of artists, so you have to almost say that to artists. Artists out there, find your team. Because alone, you may be the worst thing that you can be doing. You may be your best and worst employee at the same time.
That's how Doechii was. She built the team. And them streams on YouTube.
Same way
she was building the team.
Same way with Lil Russell. Lil Russell was the same way.
Yeah,
he built the team. You know, again, how many times in every major business, how many times do you see the CEO and the COO? You never really see them.
You don't see them at the same place at the same time. Right.
And if they do, they probably got their tools set to come tighten up some shit.
Real quick. Yeah,
exactly.
So it's like, again, it depends on, that's why I guess I kind of added emphasis on what is the artist trying to do. Because again, if an artist won't allow anybody else to come in and help, that means you're trying to be fully involved. Right. And it's like you're gonna fall short somewhere.
Yeah.
You can't be at all the business meetings. You can't do this and get your mind together to be creative.
But maybe they can be there.
They can.
But they don't have the capacity for that role.
Facts, yeah.
A lot of artists don't have the patience for a sit down meeting
Yeah.
where I got to be political about
They
this
don't.
and that. It's
True.
like, look, we either working together or we not. We either doing
Right.
this or we not doing
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Like, oh, you know, it's a little more. It's a little more complex than that.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, I need somebody to handle that for me then, because
Right.
that ain't for me.
And coming to the realization of understanding it, like drop
Yeah.
your ego.
Right.
You know what
yeah.
I mean? Drop your ego and
Yeah.
just say, I need
Facts.
some help.
Yeah.
That's where again, networking. Hey,
Yeah.
I don't, you know, I need this,
Right.
but I don't even, you know, I want to get with you and
Right.
see can I
Yeah.
get some help from what I need.
And that's where you need leverage, because you need a product.
That's right.
Why you could tell me to believe
That's
in
right.
you, or you can show me
There you go.
what I'm believing
Come
in.
on, man.
Right?
Come on, man.
You can't show me what I'm supposed to be believing in. You just telling me, "Oh, I'm the dopest."
No.
Sounds great.
Can I get an
I'm
amen?
the hottest in my city, son. Like,
Dog, yeah.
sounds great.
Yep.
Yeah, it's you gotta have something, man. Because long as
Yeah.
if you don't have any leverage, then it's like hell. I know you ain't got nothing,
Mhm.
Yeah.
so I can use that to your advantage and pounce on you. To you, it's a life changing experience. To me, it's just another way to get some more money.
Mm,
You know what I mean? So you got to think about that too.
that's right.
Some people ain't all in it for the passion. Some people just in it for the money.
For the money. That's it.
And being able to decipher which is which and where you trying to go as far as in how do you want your brand and your business to succeed in this.
That's right.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
Man. Fellas, it's been a dope conversation, man.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Super
Always.
dope.
yeah.
Oh,
Super
yeah.
dope.
Fact.
Once again, I appreciate y'all rolling through. And
Yeah.
just
I
just been
appreciate,
willing.
I appreciate the invite as always.
Absolutely.
Same
Thanks
here.
for having us.
It's been a minute.
My man Yohance over there. You know what I'm saying? Like Yohance is back, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
He came to roll through just to, give his thoughts and opinions once again. So
Yeah.
I knew that if and that once again, relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I know that there's people I can call and go, hey, I got this thing. Can you come through? Boom.
Mhm.
Sure.
Yohance is like, matter of fact, when I was putting all this together, Yohance, he called me and was like, hey, what's good? What you doing? I want to be a part of what you got going
Oh
on.
yeah, yeah.
You know what
Like
I'm
back
saying?
in the
Like,
day,
yeah.
I wasn't even supposed to be part of a podcast. I've never done a podcast, and then he got Brian. Brian was perfect for the podcast.
Brian comes from that podcast.
He comes from the podcast world, but
So
that's my boy. I had to help him out.
I appreciate that,
so,
brother. And I
yeah.
appreciate the both of you as well.
Absolutely.
Man,
And then my
always.
man Tye right here. Me and Tye are part of the Recording Academy.
Yeah.
And
I
so,
Okay.
yeah. So we had
Yeah.
a chance to connect and meet and, chop it up at the Christmas party. And,
Here
Look-
I am.
here he is. And I'm
Mhm.
looking forward to continuously building that once again.
Absolutely.
That relationship, that connection,
Yeah.
and any way I can help him do what he's doing that's of course the thing for me. I'm always in the business of helping people, which is
Yeah.
why we do the Indie Unplugged.
Yeah.
But
Yes, sir.
man,
Sure.
any last words?
I just loved it. I just loved it. No, the conversations were great. You know what I'm saying? We all come from different backgrounds, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And that's what made it really dope.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Man, any artist, I don't care who you are, create some leverage for yourself. It like again, you walk in with nothing. Guess what? You can leave with everything, but all of it won't really be yours.
Mm.
Create some leverage for yourself. Again, then you don't really have to answer to nobody.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I would say there's a lot I could say.
Go ahead and say it.
But I
Go
would
ahead and
say for artists, it's definitely, you know what, anybody who wants to work in the independent music space as a whole, just understand that relationships are currency.
Yeah.
If you understand that, then you build a bigger and a better network company.
net worth.
You can cash out.
That's right. That's right. You
like,
can.
like your man over at Spotify. You can cash
That's right.
out on what you have built for yourself and for your community. And that's kind of, the space of being a songwriter, and you sit in rooms and you write these songs, and the songs go nowhere. And then you end up just knowing tons of writers with tons of great songs, and none of those songs went anywhere. So now these distribution platforms become a great way for those writers to put that music out.
That's
Some
right.
of those writers actually didn't want to be writers anyway. They wanted to be artists, but they were told by somebody at some point that they couldn't be.
Mm.
You can be whatever you choose to be,
Facts.
but it is that choice has to be made though, right?
Mhm.
So, you can create the community that you want to be in, but that's something you have to choose to do. This is what I'm going to do. People are like, oh, I'm looking for my community. Well, sometimes you're going to have to build that.
Nah, for real.
You ain't
That's
just
right.
going to be out there standing on the corner with a sign that say your community, right?
And you just can't walk in and just think you're
That's
gonna be
right.
able to take over somebody
That's right.
what somebody else building.
That's
Like,
right.
Yeah, the
everybody-
leverage thing. You got to create the opportunity. You got to have some kind of leverage or utilize the opportunity. So yeah, I am too of the. I just want to help people be the best version of themselves. I love to surround myself with people who want more for themselves, especially in a creative space.
That's right.
Yeah,
Man. But ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you very much for tuning in to the Indie Unplugged. This has been an amazing episode. Make sure you check it out. Make sure you go back and watch all the other videos that we got, all the other podcasts, all the interviews that we got. Make sure to check out the interview with my man Jay Foley, though. I think you will love the advice and the things that he talked about in there as well. And hey, once again, thanks for watching. Peace.
Peace. 32.